Hey, what's up everyone, welcome back to my guitar lesson. In this video we're going to be learning how to play Wanted Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi. So this is their third single off their third album, Slippery When Wet, the album that made them famous. And this is a very different track from what they normally play. Normally they're all about that 80s arena rock sound, you got Living on a Prayer, You Give a Bad Name on the same album. So Wanted Dead or Alive is a very different track. It's very western cowboy sounding. And Richie Sambora has some great guitar playing on here. But with that being said, it's also a very simple track. It's not very hard besides the solo. So you can just strum along, and it's great for practicing your chords and rhythm. So we're going to take a look at the whole song today. Now, some notes about the song. First of all, we're in standard tuning, as basically almost all Bon Jovi songs are. And number two is that for the intro, which I'm about to play, Richie Sambora, he uses a 12-string acoustic guitar. Now, most people won't have a 12-string acoustic, I myself included. So you can use a normal acoustic guitar, but for this lesson I'll just use an electric guitar with the distortion turned down a little bit, so we don't have to switch around guitars and waste time. But if you have an acoustic only, play the whole song acoustic. If you have both, play both electric and acoustic, or just do what I'm doing. Alright, so we get the song started off with some harmonics. So we start with the big kick drums and the keyboards coming in. Then we start hearing the guitar a little bit. So we have three harmonics going on. So we hear this. So what that is fifth fret on the A string harmonic. It's very subtle. It's kind of hard to hear without distortion and stuff on. 12th fret, as you can hear, it's pretty easy to hear. It's 12th fret on the A string harmonic to 12th fret on the D. By the way, I'm on the 4th position pickup right now, so you get this tone in the beginning. So normally you would play on the neck pickup or the bridge, but I'm on the 4th pickup right now, so you get this sort of western cowboy sort of sound. Anyways, after the harmonics we hear a big D chord strummed. This. The thing about this is it's not actually a D chord, it's a D power chord. So get rid of the second from the high E string. Just play these two notes, and to get the sound that he's getting in the recording, don't strum downwards, strum upwards. That's how he gets that very cowboy sounding sound like this. So hit all the strings except for the open E string. Then we go into the intro. The actual guitar part sounds like this. Then the main riff starts. So this right here, this is the part that's played on the 12th string, by the way. And then it switches to normal acoustic. Right here we have a basic picking pattern, descending. So first let me tell you the pattern, then I'll tell you the frets. So the pattern is, it's a 4-note pattern. D string, G string, high E string, back to the G string. So that's the pattern. D, G, E, G, alright? So now let me tell you the frets. The D string will always be open, and the G and the high E string will be changing, right? So with the open D string, then the 14th fret on the G, to the 13th fret on the high E. Then 12 on the G and the high E. Then 10 on the G and the E. Then 9 on the G and 8 on the E. Then 5 on the G and 5 on the E. Then 4 on the G and 3 on the E. So we have this so far. Then after you play that, then you do this. So then do the whole thing again, the whole pattern at the 4th and 3rd fret. Then hit the 4th and 3rd fret together. And slide it down 2 frets and then hit that chord. So right here. This is partially a D minor chord right here. Alright. Then we have, so you do that twice. Then we have the main riff, which sounds like this. Verse starts. Okay, so the main riff is it's the open A string twice. Then you're gonna play the 3rd fret on the A string, and it has a slight bend to it. So it's not just flat; it's a little bend, not a half step bend, more like a 1/4 step bend. So then the open D string, then 3 on the D, back to the open D string. Then you just strum that D power chord again a few times. Back to the riff. Do that a few times, and then at the ending, right before the verse, we heard this. There's 2 chords to end the main riff and start the verse. So those 2 chords are F major and D, the D power chord again. So you'd also play the. That's what they play later on in the song. If that's easier for you, if you can't play this F major, or you can just play this version. Alright, anyways, then we get started with the verse, which sounds like this. Then the chorus starts. So this basically like 4 chords, I think, no, 5 chords in the verse, right? And you're gonna see the same chords that we used already, and you're also gonna see them later again in the song. So it's pretty simple. So first we have a D major chord, the standard D major. Then just a little lick at the end of the D major. That's 3-2 on the high E. The open E string. And hit the open E string again, and this time hammer onto the 2nd fret. So. Alright. And then after the little lick, you go to this chord. So this is called the C add 9 chord. You don't have to worry about the name right now. Just basically it's a G major chord, but you just move your middle finger and index finger down. So you have the 3rd fret on the A string, 2nd fret on the D, and 3rd fret on the B. After the C add 9, go to the G major. So you have this so far. So after you play the G major, we have this little lick in between. That's 4 notes, so it's hammering on from 0 to 2 on the A. Open D string, and then open G string. Then back to the C add 9. And back to the G, so we have this so far. Then we have the same 2 chords to end the progression. F major to the D power chord. Then we start all over again. Alright, so you do that twice, or just a few times, I don't know, however many times you do in the verse. and then we go to the chorus. The chorus starts like this. So that's the end of the verse, and the chorus starts automatically with that C add 9. So when you hear this, you're also gonna hear that little drum fill going on in the background. That's basically signifies that's the end of the verse. I know it's kind of hard to tell in the song. It's all just sounds like one big thing, but when you hear this, that's the end of the verse. Like I said, there's also gonna be a drum fill. Anyway, we get into the chorus then, which sounds like this. Right, then we start the interlude section again, which is just the main riff that we saw at the start. So the chorus is just the same chords, just in a different order. Same 4-5 chords. Coming on the verse, we have. Then, like I said, we hear the drum fill, and then we go into the chorus. So C add 9 starts the chorus to the G major. We hear that same fill again. Then we go to F major. Then the D power chord. So. Back to C add 9 to the G. Then after we hit the G, then instead of repeating the whole thing again, we go back to the main riff. Then grab the D. Then same thing again. So for the entire chorus, we have C add 9, G, the lick, F major, D power chord, back to C add 9 again, starting it over, the G major, and then the riff. So after you play the riff twice, then you start the chorus over again, the C add 9. Then you stop at this D power chord before we get into the interlude, which is the same thing as before. Right, the same thing. We hear some fills going on over the top of it. But for the most part, it's just the same thing again and again. We go to the same interlude, then we go back to the verse. Then the same chorus. Alright, then we go back to a little it's not really an interlude section, but just everything kind of drops down, and it builds up into the solo. Then there's like an epic slide and the drum fill, and then we go into the solo. So now let's take a look at that. Alright. Alright, so a lot of stuff is kind of hard to recreate in the solo, because he's most of the solo is just him just him digging in the G minor pentatonic scale right here, in the third position, and because he's just digging in there, hitting random pitch harmonics and stuff. And when he plays it live, he never plays it the exact same, except for the rest of the parts that you can actually hear. So for that, turn on the distortion, of course. Switch to electric. We're now on the bridge pickup. Turn up your volume. We start off with the epic slide. So you're gonna play 5-3-5 on the A. You're gonna do that twice. Then go 5 on the A, 3 on the D. Then you're gonna hit a bunch of pinch harmonics on the 5th fret of the A string. Just dig in as much as you can. For me, if you're playing on a strat like he is, it's around like behind the second pickup, the middle pickup, right behind it, like around here. Then resolve it down to the 3rd fret after hitting all those pinch harmonics. 3rd fret on the D, right? Let's add some vibrato to it. And we have this next little quick lick. So what that is so that's 12-14 on the G string. 12-14 on the G string. 13-15 on the B. To 13-15 on the high E. Then you're gonna bend the 15th fret up on the E string, whole step. And while it's bent up in the air, release it, pull off the 13th fret, and back to the 15 with a bunch of vibrato on it. Alright, then we have this. So that's the 3rd fret on the A string, palm muted a few times, then hit the C power chord, then the palm mutes again. This time hit the C power chord again, but this time slide up. Alright, so we have this so far. Then we have this next little phrase. This is the hardest part in the entire solo to recreate, because there's so much distortion and just heavy palm muted going on right here. You can play whatever you want. I'll show you the basics of it, but it's kind of hard to decipher what he's doing. But I'll show you the notes that really ring out and where he's hitting the pinch harmonic. So this is all in the G minor pentatonic scale, by the way. So after you do that, slide again. So we have 3-5 on the A. The first pinch harmonic is at the 3rd fret on the D. Then we have 5-3-5 on the A. Back to 3rd fret on the D. And then he's the next pinch harmonic on the 5th fret of the D. Then you go 3 on the D, 5 on the A, back to 3 on the D, and then hit a pinch harmonic there on the 3rd fret of the D, then the 5th fret on the D, and another pinch harmonic there. Slowly, I'll play it. Okay. Alright. Like I said, hard to recreate, but just do whatever you want. Basically, the main thing you gotta know is the pinch harmonics from the 3rd fret of the D and the 5th fret of the D. And the 3rd fret on the A and the 5th fret on the A, these are the support. And then we have this little next lick. So right here we have an oblique bend, standard, blues rock bend. The whole set bend on the 12th fret of the G string. Then, while the 12th fret on the G string is still bent, you're going to hit the 13th fret on the B string. And the second you hit the 13th fret on the B string, release the 12th fret, alright? And then bend it up again, and just keep doing that again. Do that 3 or 4 times. And at the end, at the end, when you bend up the 12th fret, like the 4th or 5th time, instead of hitting the 3rd fret on the B, this time, bend, release, pull off the 10th fret on the G. And with this little ending lick, once again, heavily palm-muted, you can do whatever you want, but well, from what I hear and saw some people doing, 5-0-3-0-1-0 on the low E string, and hit the massive D power chord. Hit all the strings except for the low E string. Alright, then coming out of the solo, we have basically the same sections. We have the same chorus again. Now, the only different thing for this chorus and the outro chorus, which happens right after basically, is that now you can't really hear the acoustic guitars anymore, since now they're playing everything in electric. Instead of playing the basic open chords, they're playing power chord versions of it. I'm sure there's 2 guitars going on that they recorded, because I can hear some open chords, but Reggie sound more live. Mainly he plays power chords. So for example, instead of playing C add 9 to G major, you can play so C power chord to G power chord, and this is the same thing for all of them. F major, F power chord. D power chord's already a power chord, but you can play it here if you want. So you get the idea. That's all he's doing. But if you want to stick with open chords, go ahead. Just add distortion, and it still works. Or this. They both work. Doesn't matter. Then in the outro, he just does that again, and then we finish the song off with a D chord. He just strums it, and that's the end of the song. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.